Good morning, friends. This is Vishal Mewada once again in front of you. And as you all know that we have different kinds of topic on daily basis, which basically to improve our communication skills and to enhance our knowledge in the particular field or the topic which is regarding. So our today's topic, as I from the yesterday onwards, as we have discussed that we have divert our topics to be quite educational and quite related to some particular topic, so that we can link it out and just learn something from that. So our today's topic is on JavaScript. Some of the topics or some of the topics of JavaScript, some HTML some CSS topics, and many more that. So I will gonna give the heading of this particular topic is we gonna discuss what is the difference between flex and grid and what are oops, why arrays and what is array and what are multi-dimensional arrays. So in this video we're gonna discuss it one by one. Firstly, coming to the CSS part, what difference between flex and grid? So, what is flex and what is grid? So, as we know that cascading style sheets, the definition of CSS, which is used to give the styling to our any kinds of particular language, CSS is basically used. So, CSS has one properties is called flex. Flex is basically used to arrange our elements or our divs in either a row format or a column format. By giving the properties of flex, we can arrange our elements and divs may either be in a row, either in a column, or we can give the manage them into the center by flex and its own another properties. But basically in general format, suppose that you have five divs and you want their div to be in a row format with a gap and something like that. So instead of applying anything, you will apply display flex and flex direction row. So it will arrange in the row and you will simply give a gap of something 1 rem or 2 rem. So it will arrange in a proper manner. Or if you just want to give them in a column, so if you just have to flex direction column, give the property flex direction column, so it will arrange in the column format. So this is what flex is. Flex basically arrange our element div and components either in a row, either in a column. This is flex. What is grid? Grid is a two-dimensional layout. Basically, it's arrange our data in a row and column format also. It can't be arranged something in one format. It will arrange in two format. It's required two format generally and basically. So it will arrange our data in row and both column also. Suppose that you are seeing some kind of e-commerce website where the products are arranged in the products have four rows and four columns. So to give this property, the easy way and the easiest fastest way is to give grid, because grid have properties, grid templates, rows. You can give the rows how many number of rows you want, what is the width of the required column or something, and grid template column. So you can give the how many columns you want in this particular thing and what is the size of it. So this is the beautiful properties of grid. By this you can apply. So while applying media queries also, the grid provides the functionality that where you can decrease the column and row size also, so it will perfectly match and comes to the UI very user friendly. And this is what about the difference between flex and grid. Let's coming to the our next topic. What is array? Array is basically a non-primitive type data structure. Uh, what is primitive and non-primitive? In JavaScript, there are two types of structure. First is primitive and second is non-primitive. Primitives comes under Boolean, Boolean values, truthy, null, etc. Whatever. But in non-primitive data types, it comes under array objects, something which has its properties and required space to store some values, which is called non-primitive data types. It refers to some location. So as we store something in our array, so it's reference to some particular location that I have stored something in some particular place. This is what the properties of arrays, objects, and all that stuff. So firstly, what is array? Array is a non-primitive data types which is used to store the values in our JavaScript or whatever language it is. So what are two-dimensional arrays? So to understand what is two-dimensional array, it is basically an array, nested array. You can say that nested array because we want to perform some kinds of metric calculation, or we want to store some kinds of mathematic calculation and image locations and some kinds of picture location in a raw column data format, in a table data format. So that's why we don't have any kinds of other things to store it. So we have derived a concept of two-dimensional array and three-dimensional array. Basically, it's represent a square, maybe a square matrix, or maybe some kinds of rectangular or any dynamic matrix. We can make it by the help of 2D array, 3D array, or more than that. So it's basically an array inside the array, which stores some particular information of that in the tabular format and represent and make our work easy. So because as you see in that while storing some mathematical calculation, we have stored the data in the row and column format. Suppose that let's take a real life example that I want to store some data of an school where the class third students have that particular marks in one row, and class four student have, because they have the same teacher and the teacher is same, and she taught different classes, class third, class four, class five. So he had arranged the data in the wants to arrange the data in the tabular format. So to give that particular functionality, JavaScript has introduced 2D arrays and 3D arrays, which basically helps to make the data in a very easy format. So this is what basically 2D and 3D, multi-dimensional array is, and this is all about it. I don't want to make the video too much larger, so we will discuss some other topics in some another video. Thank you very much. I hope you will get it.